sparks down on them. And there she goes. And there you go. Oh. One taper match. Enjoy. So, welcome back to my Outback. Ready to burn this bow drill set in, hopefully. So, we'll get our baseboard that we've put a divot in. And you want to be in a kneeling position. I'm on gravel here, so obviously I need something under my knee. It's not an ideal position or a place to do it. Obviously find somewhere flat and debris free, because you're going to be bowing. But this will do for me. So you want to place your baseboard on the ground and put your foot on top of it. Make sure your laces are out of the way. Going to get your bearing block, bit of green material, that's a bit of garlic out the garden, shove that bit in there. You don't need a lot, it's just going to give it some moisture. Get your spindle as such, and you want to be placing that in there, and the idea is to be locking this with your hand into your shin bone, like so. So when you're bowing, so that's that bit. We get the bow. Make sure the cordage is on. And lock her in. Get your bearing lock. And this is where it can get a bit tricky, just holding it all together and bringing it down as such. And holding your bow. And you can see that's bowing already. And you want this locked in. And just take your time when you're starting. Burning it in, remember, you're not trying to start the fire. So you're just bowing it backwards and forwards. As such. And seeing if it's going to burn in. And there's a lovely smell of garlic now. As you see, the string slipped a little there. When the string starts slipping, because it's new cordage, you can grab your hand and just pull it in a little bit, and that'll ease it back into tension around the drill. And as you can see, the smoke coming up, and it dropped out. They do now and again, especially when you're burning them. But it's going. It was nearly there. Just drop her back in. Get back in the position. Give it a bit of tension on that hand. Oh, hang on. Make sure it's all locked in. And give it a go again. And you get lots of smoke. That's a good sign. And that's pretty much burnt in. As you can see, there's good black powder in the hole and a good burnt end on your drill. So the next bit, we're going to cut the notch in. Right, well, we burnt it in, as you can see. Could have done with a bit more, but the string kept pinging off the end of that. I didn't put it round the big piece, not the little. I put it round the little rather. So the string kept pinging off. So might try the other bow. It's all trial and error, that's what it's all about. So you need your knife. You got your circle there now, pretty well formed. Take your knife to where the middle of the circle is, to the edge, and rock it in and make a mark. Take that mark and bring it down the side and rock it in again. Nice and marked, you won't be able to see it yet. And then just nibble the top corner and the bottom corner into that mark. Such, like a little egg timer. And then you can take the sides in just a little bit. Takes time. And you're starting to make your notch. And you're cutting in one way and back in the other way. And the idea is to get a V-notch that will go about a third of the way into that circle. So we've got a fair way to go there. And just cutting in again at an angle. And every cut gets a bit bigger. And then you start cutting into the circle. And this V-notch that's going into the circle where it's burnt out, remember, wants to be about an eighth of the size of the circle as the wedge of it. So that little V in there wants to be about an eighth of that circle. There she's going. Take your time with it. As with most things to do with bushcraft, there's not a rush. That's when you tend to naff up and it goes wrong. And you want to try and keep this cut as clean as you can. See, it's going into the circle now. It's not far off, a little bit more on that side. A bit more out of the notch there. That'll probably do it. And underneath, I like to cut the corners back, which allows the powder to gather. So just make the bottom of this cut a little wider. And that should be enough, hopefully, to drop an ember into, which we'll do next. So as you can see, we're all set up now to have a go at getting an ember. We've got our bow, our bearing block, our hearth board and our spindle, and a little bit of green material to pop in the bearing block. And we've also got our fire set up kindling ready to go, and we've got the little fire torch already packed out ready. It's essential that you should always get all your gear ready for the fire before you even attempt to make an ember.